Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today let's start with this series of the 3 months readings for idols. I wanted this series to be an individual reading, like I mentioned before, so we can concentrate in one-on-one energy, not so much the group, because we can like a lot of things can get lost in their interpretation, since some groups have a lot of members. So I would like to concentrate on each member or in an individual idol, so I can read for them better. But in the future I plan on doing a group 3 months prediction also for the groups, so don't worry about that. So today it's Enhypen Sunghoon Storm. It was requested for me to do this from a fan. So I'm going to read for him. So yes, Sunghoon got the King of Pentacles, the Judgment, the Five of Pentacles, the Six of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, and the card of the Oracle of Healing Yourself. That is the card of Have Faith. So it's a beautiful card. But since this message is about having faith in something, like keep believing kind of energy, I have the feeling that he's not doing that well in his energies, in the sense that probably he's a bit worried, or he is not very comfortable with how things are happening in his life right now. Probably he's feeling a lot of pressure, like the Nine of Pressure. I'm sorry, the Nine of Wands, the Nine of Wands, that or the Ten of Wands more so, that it represents burdens, is not presented here in this spread. But I don't know why, trying to connect with his energy, I feel like a huge weight on my shoulders. So I wonder if these people that manage them are not being too harsh on them, especially on him, because there's something that I see here that just lets me know that I don't know, he just feels like he's not enough, like he's always been reminded that he needs to work on something. And even though we know that this is a job, that this is his profession, that he chose this profession, sometimes I think that the people that give them feedback, they should be a bit more understanding, and probably trying to communicate better, these feedbacks, because these are very young people. They are, even though they are very passionate, and they are very realistic also about what it means to be an idol, I think that it would change a lot the atmosphere if they could just communicate better with these young guys. So because 3 months from now, like in these 3 months, including this last month of this year, December, I think that definitely he feels very proud of himself. Like, the King of Pentacles is someone that he is, he wasn't made by Enhypen's popularity. Probably Sunghoon is someone that had been popular, or had been famous for his talents, or he had some kind of prestige, or some kind of a reputation because of his hard work. So probably he's someone that he's very talented in many areas of his life, including his family life. I sense this, that he's very much loved, he's very cherished, he's very he's someone that he's always was made feel like he is a king. So I think that there are moments where he probably gets negative feedback, where he doesn't understand completely why. Like, but I think that in these 3 months, his circumstances or his point of view are going to change, because somehow he's starting to realize that idol life is not that easy, or probably that things are demand a lot of effort. And I'm not saying with this that he doesn't know what effort is, because he does. He is very responsible, he is very professional, but I think that there's some kind of some kind of goals or objectives that he has to accomplish in order to be what they want him to be, and it seems like he's always under evaluation, and he's always been told that he needs to change, or that he needs to do this sort of transformation, where in this transformation it doesn't mean that cannot be himself. It is being himself, but being better, or being like a much more expansive version of himself. So I see him like him being given a sort of ultimatum as well. This is why I think that this is serious, actually, guys, that this is not just a pat on the shoulder. I think that there's something about him. I don't know if it also has to do with his behavior as an overall, but he is being asked to change. People that manage them want him to change his manners, or probably wants him to change. They want him to mature all of a sudden. So I don't know why they want this. Probably because they see the potential and they want him to do it, because they know that he can do it. But at the same time, he's feeling like very nervous, like he probably is not very expressive, but inside he's feeling like a bit like overwhelmed, like, what else do you want from me? Like, and you know why? Because he feels like he's the only one that he's been asked to do this sort of improvement, so this is why when I read for the group, I remember when I did the group dynamics reading, I referred to him as the leader. And I remember that thankfully there were fans that there was one fan that corrected me, and she told me that he is not the leader. That actually the leader is other member. That that I'm still starting to learn Enhypen's members' names. Like, I know the ones that have English names and Nikki, but the others I do confuse their names a lot. And it's not that I confuse them, it's just that their names don't stick with me so much. Like, I cannot remember. Like, if I see them, or if I read it, I can memorize it. Like, my memory can like scan it, and can like, oh yes, I remember this name and this face. I can do an association. But whenever I'm getting ready to read, or I'm in this process of reading for these people, I get confused. So definitely there's something here about their identities that is not what the fans had been told, or is not. There's a bit of changes, like it seems like positions and responsibilities changes all the time, especially here in Enhypen. I don't feel it in other groups. I feel like there's something about Sunghoon that I feel like he's the leader. I don't know why. I have no idea why. But if he is not the leader, he's been trained to be like the most responsible one, or to be, because they keep asking him more, they keep asking him to be a certain way. It seems like they are molding him to be a sort of a sort of influence in the group, and they are very sure that it's him, the one they want to play this role. So this is why he gave me in the past leader vibes, because I feel like he's been trained, or he is been under observation and under evaluation, because they want him to get to be able to have leadership skills. So I don't know. And then about the other guy that it's the leader, I actually have a trouble like connecting with his energy, honestly. I feel like there's a reason why I cannot remember his name. So I don't know if maybe the fans can let me know a little bit about him, because I have no doubts that they are all very talented and that I know who he is, I know his face. But whenever I try to read for him, I sense like he's not the leader. I don't know why, but it's not. I don't. Maybe it's because he doesn't act like one, or because I sense like he is hidden somehow in the group. You know, like whenever I try to connect with his energy, and I know that he has the potential, and I know that he has the talent, but his energy just fades away from me. You know, he just evaporates. So I cannot remember him. You know, so and with I had the same problem with TXT back in the day when they were just starting. I remember two popular faces, and then the rest I didn't know who they were. And I'm going to make a clarification. I'm really good with names and with faces because I work with people. So I have been working with people and names and birth dates all my life, so I know about them. But energetically, I mean that I don't know if it's Hypes or the company's strategy to somehow name someone a certain responsible, or name some people and put them and expose them and put them in the front, but then in the private settings the roles switch. I don't know if I'm making sense, but this is what I feel about Enhypen and some of the members that I wanted to share with you, because it's not as simple as, oh, I just mistake their names and I do not know, or I mistake the information. No, it has to do with what happens to me when I'm reading for them. So I wanted to share this with you. So I don't know if maybe the fans can actually give me some feedback, or can actually help me understand through your experience about how is the group dynamic, or how do you perceive it with your own eyes and perception. Because here I feel like he is always like being asked to do better, you know, and I feel like he will come through a moment where he will doubt his abilities, because he's going to be pressured a lot. And one thing is that he always is thinking about the past somehow, you know, probably when he feels a bit under pressure, or when he feels a bit like not so happy. It's just that I think that he wants to be congratulated. You know, I think that he wants to be validated, and he's not getting it right now. It doesn't mean that he's not going to get it. It means that in this period of time that his in energy is transiting, I mean these 3 months, he's going to feel a bit like not so sure about himself and his talents. But he will move on. He will move on. But yes, I think that whenever he feels like a bit like not satisfied, or very tired and exhausted, I think he feels about going back home. He thinks about that a lot. He doesn't say anything because he's not very expressive, actually, emotionally. But he does. There are some words, or there are some there are some things said that really hurt his self-esteem, you know. So this is why I was mentioning that these people need to be a bit more delicate when they give a feedback, because these people are not robots, you know. They do have feelings and they do get hurt sometimes. But then we have the Knight of Pentacles, that yes, he will definitely take the task, whatever it is, or the whatever he has to work on, and he will slowly be working towards his evolution, and also of him giving the best of himself. I think that definitely he will work very consistently. He will be very responsible, and he will be very serious towards these things that he had been asked to change. So yes, I think that he's going to do it on his pace, though. He's not going to rush to change into someone, you know. And I don't think that actually he's really that excited to change. I think he just does it because it's work, you know. It's not an internal change, you know. It's not a sort of like insightful moment where he's like, oh, maybe I should change. No, I think that for him it's sort of like learning a new technique, you know. Like, okay, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to smile more? I will smile more, you know, something like that. And probably, yes, being a bit sarcastic about it, because I sense, even though there are no cards here of that represent a sort of frustration or anger, you know, that they are actually like, they are um like diminishing his self-esteem. Because if we see here, we are starting with this King of Pentacles. So he is feeling, he had been feeling like a king. And then we end the spread with the Knight of Pentacles. So, you know, the Knight of Pentacles, when it comes to figures, is like in a lower position than the King. So it seems like his self-esteem or his self-worth is being like diminished because of this request or because of this task. So I don't know if maybe they are asking him to be more humble. You know, there's something about this that he's like, okay, but he's really not feeling it, you know. He's doing it from a professional side. He's not really like coming to a very deep realization of why they are asking him this, you know. And I think that if he's not coming into this realization, it's because they are not being supportive enough of himself as a person. So it seems like he hears talks and talks and talks and complains, and he's like, oh, okay, well, I'm a human, you know. Like, he does have a sort of a rebel inside of him, you know. He has a strong temper. So even though he's not going to talk back, you know, he's not going to be disrespectful, but there's something about him like being really annoyed. He's like, in the sense that he doesn't understand that why they always send him or put him in because it seems, for me, it seems like they want him to be like the face of the group, you know. Probably they want his image to be the representation of the group. So it seems like he's this sort of ace, you know, that whatever he does or say becomes like a strong representation of the group. They want him to be not the leader, because I already know that he's not the leader, but they want him to be this sort of, yes, representation of the group when it comes to image. And I know that there are other members, and I know that there are other visuals as well, but somehow they are very stubbornly like manifesting that they want him to play this role for the group. So I don't know if maybe they did some popularity poll or something like that, and his name came up first. So this is why they are in this process of trying to polish a lot of things about his personality traits or a lot of things about his communication skills. You know, there's something, but they are very insistent about being him. So probably in the future you will see him like, you will still see him like emceeing, you will still see him like in these roles where he has to do the talking or where he has to present himself, or probably like do speeches for the group, you know, or do this kind of also a lot of promotions, like individual promotions, but for the group as well, to benefit the group. So yeah, so maybe some fans can actually help me like understand if this makes sense. Of course, I always say take this tarot reading as it is, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not asking anyone to agree with me, but just be respectful, okay? Because we are I'm just giving my best here, but I'm also trying to understand where this energy comes from. And the last card of the oracle, that is have faith, that I already mentioned this. Of course, that this is a message for him, you know, that he doesn't have to lose faith, that it doesn't matter how complicated things can get, or that he feels a bit, like I mentioned, he feels a bit tired of having to always having to change something about himself, or having to be on probation. It seems like he's always on probation, you know, that there's always something pointing out on him, and he sometimes feels a bit like a rebel, you know, he sometimes feels like he wants to give in, but that he doesn't have the choice. So the card actually means about having faith, if for him to keep having faith that this is where he belongs, and this is part of his journey, being an idol and being a singer and being a professional, and that this is what he wanted, so this is what he has to endure somehow, and that these uncomfortable moments are not going to last forever. Like I mentioned before, these people have a sort of they have a reason why they push him so hard, you know, like they want him to be something because they want to somehow like work with his image, you know, and somehow like make him popular, because I believe that he is somehow, but they want him to be more popular still. So he will have to adjust, you know, he will have to just get rid of this of his whatever face, you know, because he's like, I can see him like being like, oh, whatever, like I don't know if young people say this word anymore, but it's just like him like trying to like not to care about what other people say and feeling a bit frustrated. But actually the glass card that says have faith, it means that this is just a period, this is just 3 months, like it's not that it will always be like this. This is a very uncomfortable situation, but since the judgment is here, obviously everything that is going on is a very important moment in his life. So everything that he's been requested to change or to perfectionate or to be better or to improve or to get rid of, I think that it will benefit him in the future, because you know that the judgment card is calling you, is a calling. So the judgment card, it's telling you that it's time to change, you know, and it's time to let go of your old ways. Like now you are finally being summoned for what you really, your true purpose in your life is. So you need to be ready, so you need to be adaptable, so you need to let go of control and just go with the flow, because greater things are coming your way. And what now seems like a burden, in the future you will get to see the benefits of these changes in your situation. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful card, the card of have faith. It's really beautiful. So yes guys, this is all I have for him. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.